Hello, boys and girls. It's your favorite goalkeeper, Pasquale. So today is February 21st, 22nd, February 22nd, 2024. Quite some time after the game that I am going to review, which is Valhalla against Alliance, which was held on December the 2nd, 2023. So a couple months later. What else was I going to say? A couple months later, a video that I've been dreading making because of how badly we got our butts kicked, 10-0. And so what was I going to say about something about how long ago this was? Yes, that's the other thing I was going to say. So game 5, which was held in week 11. Okay, we're going to get to that in a different video. I'm going to try to keep this video just to this game. So we got our butts kicked in this game pretty bad. So yeah, Valhalla versus Alliance, December 2nd, 2023, which is about 2.5 months ago now. And I've been dreading this video, making this video. Okay, so I'm going to talk about in the first half it was 3-0. So I'm just going to go through the 3 goals that were allowed. Okay, so here's goal number 1. It's a header, and I'm talking about a video that I'm actually watching, and I haven't figured out how to do like split screen or picture-in-picture thing where I have the game on there and you can see me talking about the game while you're watching the game. So the game will be posted. The highlights, I'm going to post the entire first half of this game and highlights of basically goal box action right before this, but you won't be able to watch the game and watch me talking about it at the same time, which is what I'm doing right now. So okay, so the first goal is a header off a corner. I'm going to basically go forward frame by frame and watch this as I talk about it. So here we go. Here it comes. And boom. We hear the kick. Ball's up. Okay, as the ball enters frame. So, actually, let me rewind it a little bit. Okay, so right before the kick is coming, there's a cluster of guys in front in the goal box. The guy on the other team just starts running over here. One guy. He just starts running over there. And nobody goes with him. Nobody picks this guy up. He's not the guy that scores the goal, but he runs over there completely unmarked. They just ignore him, basically. It's like, do what you want, buddy. We're leaving you alone. And then this guy who scores the goal steps around this other guy, a guy on my team, who's half a foot taller than him. The guy on my team is half a foot taller than the guy on the other team who scores the header. And I don't even know this guy's name. This is week 11. It's only our 5th game in 11 weeks. And I'm going to get into this in the other video too, but this is my fullback. I don't even know this guy's name. Okay. So anyway, he's half a foot taller than this guy. And this guy just walks around him, comes up behind him, walks right around him, takes his position. I mean, right where he wants, right. He's like, this is where the ball is coming, stands right there. Nobody goes with this guy. Nobody marks him. Ball enters frame. He just goes up uncontested for this header that he knocks in. He's got all the time in the world to line it up. There's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys on my team in the vicinity of this guy. Not a single one of those guys leaves his feet. The guy scoring, who's half a foot shorter than 2 of the guys near him, is the only guy that even jumps. Nobody else even jumps. On the money in the top corner. And so I remember at halftime, the manager of the team said to me, He's like, whose guy was that? Like who something to that effect? Like who was it that didn't mark that guy? I mean, who knows? 5 guys. So anyway, I kind of felt like, you know, this goal's not on me, but I think I'm gonna eat this goal. As much as I just said that like could have been done, like these guys, there's 5 guys, nobody marks him, he moves into position, nobody checks him, no one else jumps. I can see where this ball is coming to, and the path from me to the guy who scores the header, there is nobody in between me and that guy. No one from my team, no one from the other team. There's no resistance between me, and it's like, okay, maybe I should just come get it. I feel like, you know what? I could just come out and get it. I'm taller than this dude. I can probably jump higher than him. It's like, I should just come out and get that ball. So I'm going to eat this one. That's one on me. Partly. But yeah, I'm going to eat that one. All right. So now, let's go to the next one. I got a little notes here. Okay, so here's the next goal. I'm rewinding. I'm going frame by frame. Okay. The defense is pushed up way too far, in spite of me asking them repeatedly not to play the offsides trap because we always get burned. We're pushing up too much. Anyway. Okay, so guy on my left, so the right forward, they kick this guy a long ball. So he's on sides. The fullback on the right is behind him. So he's on sides. He's got the guy marking him beat by about 2 steps. He's a step ahead of him and 1 step to the side of him. So he's got his guy beat by a couple of steps. Long ball comes down the middle. I start coming out, and I realize that 2 things. I realize that I'm beaten, that the ball is getting to him first. The ball's going to get to him before I can get to the ball. And second of all, that's going to happen outside while the ball is still outside the goal box. So I basically hold up, and now I'm out of position because he can lob me. So I'm a little bit out of position. I came out too early. So I hold my ground. I'm like, okay, I hold my ground. And now the defender, the guy basically traps the ball, controls the ball, which gives my defender a couple steps to catch up. So my defender catches up to him, traps the ball. It bounces a little bit too far off of his foot. And I can now come out and get the ball, but my defender basically can stop it too and doesn't. And it's like, okay, so the defender, I remember at the time feeling like this one was kind of on me, and I'm actually going to switch my opinion on this. What happens on this is that the defender challenges the guy and gets beat, and it messes up my rhythm. And it's like, okay, you basically cost me a step. And I mean, I actually got my hand on this ball. So it's like, if you don't cost me a step by challenging the guy and not beating him, I don't eat a step because I misread the play because of you. It's like, and I've said this before, it's like, if you're not going to beat the guy, just get out of my way. Okay. So, and you know what? I don't know this defender either. I don't know this guy's name. I don't think that guy ever played with us before this game either. I mean, I don't know that guy. So that's the second goal. Okay, and the third goal is over here. Let me watch the timer. Catch up here. Around here somewhere. Is this it? Okay. Okay. So this goal is a goal off a corner kick. It's a fast play to a guy that sneaks up, close pass in on a corner kick, and a shot in the top corner. So let me rewind it a little bit. There's a big setup to this. I need to rewind it too far. So what's happening here?
Hey, when y'all get the car, I got far. Don't worry.
Okay, so we're taking our positions. We're taking our positions. I start pointing up here at the top of the goal box. There's a 2-3 guys not marked. I'm like, okay, pick up this guy. And we get a whistle. The referee blows the whistle. So this guy standing way out there, 25, 30 yards out, kind of in the middle of the field. He just runs over here to the sideline. He runs forward to his sideline to the corner kick. The corner kicker just kicks him the ball. And nobody goes with him. Is that the ref? That's the ref. I mean, so this guy basically runs over to receive the corner kick. Nobody challenges this guy. You got all the time in the world. You got all the time in the world to dribble the ball to where he wants it. I'm out of frame. And just basically line up this shot, which is, it's a beautiful shot. I should have stopped this. It basically rainbows up like that and comes down, tips the inside edge of the post and goes in. I should stop this. I mean, this is kind of 50-50 on me and my team, okay? So they basically allow a sneak attack on a corner kick. Nobody marks this guy. He's got all the time in the world to line up a shot, which because of that ends up being a beautiful shot, but it is savable, and I should have stopped it. You can't actually see it go in the goal on the video. It's slightly out of frame. But that goes in. So that one's kind of on everybody. They just allow a sneak attack on a corner kick, and I allowed that in when I should have stopped it. So that's the 3 goals. That was relatively close to halftime. So then we go to halftime. And I felt so bad. I'm kind of done with the footage. I felt so bad. I was like, you know what? Maybe filming this thing is distracting me from what I'm doing as a goalie. I'm like, okay, I felt so bad about how things were going. I'm like, maybe I'm distracted because I'm filming stuff, So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just put this camera away and not film the second half. Which I actually wish I would have done. I wish I would have done, because they went through us like a sieve. And I did actually save a penalty kick at the end of the game, which I wish I had on video. But anyway, I was like, hey, I kind of felt guilty, man. Am I exploiting this situation? Are we losing because of this? Am I distracted because I'm filming stuff? So I was like, I put the camera away. I didn't record the second half. So early going second half, they basically have the guy kind of comes at me from the top of the 18 and he takes a shot maybe around the edge of the goal box, hits me. I mean, it's coming right at me, like right here, high, my chest, neck, chin area, maybe a little higher, I don't remember, but a high ball. It's not that hard. It's basically right at me, a little bit high and right at me, not particularly hard, hits me in the hands, and it just goes it bounces right off my hands. I don't know if it bounces off my hands or if it goes through my hands. It just goes past me and rolls into the goal, just like that. It was a totally 100% on me. So a few things I can say about that, and I'm not going to go through all 10 goals. This is the last one I'm going to go through individually. So basically, a few things I want to say about that is I did touch the ball and slow it down dramatically. So like I was so frustrated by letting it go through my hands. I turned around. I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, oh my God. And I turn around, and the ball is actually, because I did impact the ball, it's rolling so slowly that if I just turned around and chased it, I would have stopped it before it went in the goal, because no one on the other team chased it. And actually, no one on my team chased it either. Like if anybody chased that ball, the contact I made with the ball slowed it down enough where me or a fullback could have just chased it and kicked it out of the way. And we all just stood there and watched it go in. But 100% bobble on my part. And then I didn't turn around and chase it. I just turned around and watched it. So that one's on me. And at that point, I think the other team was kind of like, okay, we got a goalie that's a punk, and they started lighting it up. But that doesn't change the fact that, and this is what I'll get into, that they were going through us like a sieve. It felt like there was either a guy on the right that was always open or there was a guy on the left that was always open. It felt like they always had the ball. It felt that whenever we got rid of the ball, it came back within less than a minute, and there was either a guy on this side or a guy on the other side was always open. That's how it felt. There was always one dude open. They always had the ball, and if we got rid of it, it came back within a minute. And the other thing I want to say about that goal is the goalie gloves I had. I think I mentioned this earlier. I lost my goalie gloves after the first game of this season. I got a new pair of gloves. I had them in a video. And I don't actually love that pair of goalie gloves. I've noticed this with some of the kids I trained a few times. And even at my pickup game that I play, I've bobbled quite a bit since I got that pair of gloves. They're a bit thicker than what I'm used to. I think the fingers are short, like they're kind of snug here on my in between my fingers, and the pinky is kind of like, is it turned too much inside or is it turned too far outside? And they're not all that sticky. So I don't like to hang my mistakes on my gear. I don't like to do that, but I have noticed that I don't think that's the best pair of goalie gloves I've ever had. Let me just put it that way. So after that team took some liberties, because I think they're like, we can score on this goalie, and they just started shooting. They were shooting from far away. They were shooting often, and they were basically picking us apart. Like I said, they had the strategy where they kind of worked the ball around. They had like an arch coming towards me. It was like an arch. And they just worked the ball around the arch. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4 guys. The arch moved forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, back around the arch to the other side of the field. And like I said, there was either a guy open on the right or on the left. They seemed to always have the ball, and if we got rid of it, it came back within about a minute. And it was kind of overwhelming. And they just started going through us like a sieve after that. I don't even remember any of the other particular goals. I kind of took someone out at the end of the game. I think I hard fouled somebody. They got a penalty kick. I saved the penalty kick, deflected it, and then someone ended up kicking it in. So they scored the goal anyway. So, and the other thing I wanted to say about this game, I'm a guy, I've always taken sportsmanship pretty seriously. So I always try to go and talk to the other team after the game and say, hey, good game, whatever, and try to do that. So I noticed that in this league, I'm like the only guy that does that. Like, I've made a point of going to the other team after the game and offering my hand, slapping fives, and being like, good game, hey, Orange, whatever, good game. And after 10-0, I was so humiliated. I mean, I don't think I've ever felt like that. I was so humiliated that for probably the first time in my entire life, I did not go to the other team and be like, good game, guys. And like, I felt pretty bad about that. I felt pretty bad about feeling humiliated enough not to do it. And I felt bad about just not doing it. I was like, you shouldn't have allowed your butt kicking to affect your sportsmanship. But it sucked. And I mean, we lost an 8-0 and a 9-0, and I didn't feel quite the same somehow. It was just a kind of a feeling of helplessness. I don't know, a dejection. I didn't like it. I definitely didn't like it. And anyway, so that's like the little post-game recap about Valhalla versus Alliance. And I'm going to just cut this and turn around and make another video about the overall first season Valhalla experience. But that's it for this game. Okay, boys and girls. Bye.